So good evening. I'm Liz Fromgen. I'm the president of Southwestern College, and it is truly my joy and privilege to welcome many of you back to campus. Welcome home as we celebrate Founders Weekend and welcome a new class of inductees into the academic halls of fame. So it's hard to believe, and I'm going to look at these amazing young people right in front of me. It's hard to believe that in 15 days, you're aware it's 15 days? Okay. We will graduate an exemplary class of mound builders, the class of 2024, and that another academic year is about ready to come to close. The spring semester on a college campus always moves really at an incredible pace. There was so much going on, so many activities and projects, and if we're not careful, it's easy to take for granted our time together on this hill in this special place. We can get so focused on the details of the work, the deadlines, the due dates, we can sometimes risk missing the bigger picture. Founders Weekend then serves for us as an opportunity to slow down, take a moment, and recognize the transformation going on all around us. What this special place does for these special people. And as we think about the ways in which the college has changed and evolved over the past 139 years, it's pretty amazing to watch. So, as we welcome home and celebrate accomplished individuals who represent our college so well, who have worked so hard and given so much of themselves in service to others, in service to the greater good, these moments remind us what all this is ultimately for. Lives changed through learning and discovery, through building meaningful relationships. As I said yesterday at Honors Convocation, our college is about these people. It's always about the people. So Founders Weekend reminds me that someday, these students and all the others that I see running up the 77, I don't run up the 77 in case you wondered. I do walk up. Mostly I like walking down. Maybe trying to make it to class on time, or that I eat within the calf, or that I will get to hand a diploma to and a hug in 15 days. Each of them has the potential to earn their own place in one of our halls of fame in the not so distant future. I know our students are preoccupied by finishing those projects. I imagine you're thinking about one right now that you're not quite done with. Would that be right? That's a yes? Okay. Preoccupied by the finals, graduation. You're anxious to begin summer internships, jobs, or graduate school adventures, perhaps some of you. And we're so excited for you, and we're excited for them. But students, I encourage you to focus on the words of our marvelous inductees tonight. Hear their stories of transformation. Allow yourselves to imagine someday standing behind this podium to receive the many accolades and congratulations of our builder family. That is a possibility and a likelihood for each of you. So tonight, we celebrate three builders who in their lives, work, and service demonstrate the values of Southwestern College. Professor Claudia Geer, who was a professor of psychology, who retired in 2012. We'll get to hear more from her and about her. Paul Bean, the class of 1985, and Willie Williams, officially the class of 1968, but really I think it's 1967. He'll tell us that story. These are three incredible people and great builders. The inductees we honor tonight are great builders of the human spirit. Through their work and service, they have taught, encouraged, and connected. They have shown openness and empathy. That's what we're called to do in leadership. We serve with our hands, our feet, from our hearts. Our inductees, three leaders with huge hearts and drive to serve others through listening, advocacy, and teaching. We are grateful to you for your work, for being builders. I'd also like to thank our students who are in the room. Again, they're right in front of us here. I like that they're right there. Thank you. You got the message. You make us proud. You make me proud. I hope your presence tonight gives you some added motivation for those 15 days. Remember, 15 days. Continue to serve others through your leadership. Endeavor to build the spirit of those around you, and you'll make your college so proud. To all of you joining us tonight, I share my gratitude. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming home. Thank you for traveling to be with us tonight. And at this time, I want to welcome back up to the podium our Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Jacob Goodson. Thank you.
Some of you may still not be finished with your meal. We encourage you to continue eating as we move forward with the program. The mission statement for the Social Science Division is to promote multiple approaches to understanding ourselves, others, and the forces that shape society, to equip students for reflective engagement in the world. We are here tonight to celebrate that work of equipping. It is the work in progress for those of us who are here at SC, and it is the fruit of that work evidenced in the meaningful careers of our Hall of Fame inductees. We have 3 honorary categories this evening for recognition: Pi Gamma Mu, Social Science Honors, and the Leaders in Service Hall of Fame. We will begin with honor cords for Pi Gamma Mu, the National Honor Society for the Social Sciences. We at Southwestern College hold the distinction that this honor society was started as a joint effort between Southwestern College and the College of William and Mary back in 1924. We are pleased to be able to honor students who are studying and preparing to be persons who make a meaningful contribution in our world. Your hard work and dedication is noticed. Your commitment to academic discovery matters. And as the saying goes and broadly applies, it is true with academic pursuits: you get out what you put in. I have the privilege of serving as the faculty advisor for Pi Gamma Mu, and this year we have 3 people graduating in this honor society. So 3 of the Pi Gamma Mu students with us this evening are graduating this spring and heading out to take their next place in the world. As I introduce you, please come forward to receive your honor cord. We will begin with Olivia Martello. Next, Brandon Murphy Ward, who will be courted by Dr. Jackson Laisher. And then Isaac Swanson, who will also be courted by Dr. Jackson Laisher. Congratulations to the 3 of you. Our second category of honorees this evening is for the Social Science Honors Program. The Social Science Division launched the honors program in the fall of 2014, so we are celebrating the 10-year anniversary of that endeavor. As I think back on the incredible honor students who have come through the program, one of those are here tonight, Daniel Ruffner, I am astonished and grateful. The program offers enrichment opportunities outside the traditional classroom, from enhanced learning trips to community-building social activities. To graduate with honors requires completing 6 honors courses at a level of B or higher, and successfully writing and defending some kind of capstone project or thesis. This year, we have 2 students graduating with honors in the social sciences. I would like to invite their advisor, Dr. Jacob Negley, up to introduce them. Thank you.
Hello. As Jacob Goodson said, we have 2 students graduating with honors this year. Graduating with honors is quite a challenge. It involves taking 6 upper-level interdisciplinary classes So you cannot just get by with 6 psychology classes, as some former honors program students have attempted and then not graduated with honors. You also have to complete a full research project, which, again, some honors students have not actually completed and not graduated with honors. So having multiple students in a single year that met both requirements is quite impressive. First, we have Lily Grisso, who ran an honors project involving drug and alcohol use at Southwestern College, run in conjunction over multiple semesters with Student Affairs to provide us ongoing data about trends in drug and alcohol use at the college. And she will be presenting it next Friday at 11, I think. 11?
I think so.
Hey, we think it's 11 on Friday. We've got a flyer somewhere. And the second student graduating with honors is Justine Johnson, who has been working with Southwestern College alum Christopher Smith on a sexually violent predator rehabilitation program, and both analyzing existing data as well as collecting new data from Southwestern College students about perceptions and knowledge of these types of programs. Both of them have put in a tremendous amount of work, and again, I'm extremely pleased with how much progress and how much work they've done over the last few semesters, bringing it all together.
If we could actually have the two of you stand, another round of applause. Tonight, the highlight of our honorary recognitions are for 3 persons who have, in different ways, dedicated their lives to the service of others. We are thankful that they model servant leadership for us, but especially for our students. Our inductees help us understand what is possible when armed with a curious mind, vision, and a hopeful spirit. The Southwestern College Leaders in Service Hall of Fame for the Social Sciences was established in 2009 to honor alumni and friends who have taken their education and enriched our world by offering their time and talents as leaders in service to others. It is right and fitting that we recognize these worthy individuals for their efforts, and the college is privileged to be part of this honor. I would like to call your attention to the beautiful glass creations on the table beside me. These one-of-a-kind awards will be given annually to Leaders in Service Hall of Fame inductees. They are handcrafted by Mr. Scott Hartley, class of 1997, a Southwestern science major who went on to use his artistic talents and his knowledge of science to become a master glass blower. We are fortunate to be able to give these unique gifts to our inductees to permanently remind them of their place in our Hall of Fame. Okay, first, I am very grateful to introduce Dr. Claudia Geer this evening. Claudia Geer went to school and earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from California State University in Long Beach, along with a Master of Arts degree in Research Psychology. She moved on to her doctorate from the University. She moved on to earn her doctorate from the University of California in Davis in 1995. From there, she was hired as an assistant professor of psychology at Southwestern College. Lucky us. Although her primary interest was in research, Geer quickly developed an appreciation for teaching over many years at UC Davis and Southwestern. She taught 17 different psychology courses, several seminar courses in various topics, and mentored students in an internship in the teaching of psychology. While her formal training and research interest identified her as a social psychologist, with emphasis and attitudes toward human emotion, she became more of a generalist interested in many areas of the discipline. A firm believer in hands-on learning, Geer developed lab sessions for general, developmental, and research psychology. She expected students to work hard so that they would be proud of their accomplishments, be better prepared for life after college, and be competitive in the worlds of graduate school and professional life. A point of pride for Claudia, many of her former students were accepted to master and doctoral programs. As they worked hard, Geer also did everything she could to be available, advise students, and foster student success. Geer received 3 institutional awards during her tenure at Southwestern: the United Methodist Exemplary Teacher in Higher Education in 2010, the Charles and Vera Kopke Award in 2011, and the Faculty Member of the Year in 2012. Her professional service to Southwestern included faculty secretary, faculty chair, psychology program director, and social science division chair. Geer has held membership in several national and regional psychological associations, and since retiring in 2012, has continued to live in Winfield, supporting Southwestern College and the community at large. Claudia, please come forward now to accept your reward.
Well, I have many to thank for this honor today. First, I want to thank the person or persons who put my name forward to receive this honor. When Ashley told me that I had been nominated, I said, "Really? Are you sure you have the right person?" Because I had not been published. My research had kind of stopped when I came to Southwestern. And I didn't go to China to recruit students, which was all the vogue about a decade or two ago. I didn't do that. Mostly what I did was advise and teach and support students. And I loved almost every minute of it. Prior to my arrival here at Southwestern College, I had done some teaching at UC Davis and at Sacramento State and Sacramento City colleges. Before I talk a little about my experiences here, I want to acknowledge my parents. Don't we always want to acknowledge our parents? Who were themselves professionals and very positive examples for me to emulate. Dad was a World War II veteran, a teacher, and an adjunct professor of anatomy and physiology. He supported everything I tried, from the early age when I wanted to be a pitcher for the New York Yankees to on to the PhD program. He would often use a phrase that must have been familiar to a lot of World War II vets. He would say, "Give him hell, honey." And I did my best. Mom was a registered nurse and is probably smiling right now. And she's no doubt thrilled that I'm not wearing jeans tonight. I also want to acknowledge my late wife, who not only supported, nurtured, and cared for me through 50 years, but she even helped me calculate the descriptive statistics I used to run on all the exams that I gave the students. She was also a professional working as a medical office manager, for many years, mostly in California. Now, let me say a few words about teaching, because that's how I identify myself. I am a teacher. There are 3 principles or goals that I always try to impart to my students. First, learn to communicate well. You may have great ideas and a lot of creativity, but if you can't communicate it effectively, then you may be languishing in the world. No one may ever know how you're doing. I always included multiple choice questions, of course, fill in the blank, and some essay questions on my exams, which have been described by students as filthy or bleeping brutal. Why? Because they made students recognize and apply what they had learned instead of just memorizing things. Give you one example, quick example. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his occipital lobe. And since that happened, he's not been able to see, hear, touch, taste, or so forth. So it makes students apply what they have learned instead of just recognizing certain lobes of the brain. All right, that's my first goal. The second goal, and I said this once when I received the Kopke Award, don't settle for mediocrity. Be the best offensive lineman. Be the best point guard. Be the best student. Be the best friend. But don't settle for mediocrity. You can do better than that. And knowing Southwestern, we have all taught you better than that. The third is that you can do much more in this life than you ever thought possible. I learned this one in graduate school. When I had all-nighters day after day after day, and I would yell and I would scream and I would moan and I would pout and feel so sorry for myself, and then I would get it done. So you can do much, much more than you think you ever could. And the last goal is never underestimate the value of tenacity. Keep going. Just keep going. Cry, have a pity party like I used to do, and then get up and try again. Tenacity. I see teaching, and I always did see teaching as a full mind and body sport. It's not about making touchdowns or baskets, of course, but it takes hours of keeping up to date in one's discipline, preparation, devising ways in which to help students learn. I've always, as was said before, been a great believer in learning by experiencing, and I have used a lot of wacky devices. For example, in teaching research methods, I devised a silly in-class mini experiment using Snickers and Milky Way and Three Musketeers candy bars to illustrate why and how it's important to isolate a variable, to see its effect on a dependent variable. That sound familiar to anyone here? For cognition, I had students use Lego's building blocks to demonstrate the principles of Gestalt. Having them build something block by block and have other students try to recognize the point at which they knew what it was. Might not have been finished, and that's the point of Gestalt. For learning, I had students use a squirt gun on a victim, a student, to demonstrate classical or Pavlovian conditioning and the principle of extinction. So that was a fun one. A little wet, but fun. These are just examples, and I would have used performance art and interpretive dance if that's what it took to get my points across. Those of you who are or have been teachers know there is a seductive quality to teaching, isn't there? Who's been a teacher? Who's a teacher? You know it seduces you. It can seduce you. It's not because, well, for me, it was not because I was always the center of attention in class or having students laugh at my lame jokes or my bad puns. For me, it was always the got it moment. You know what that is? The got it moment. Yeah. You see students struggling with difficult concepts, and they might have their, chins on their hands and maybe grimacing. They might be looking down because they don't even want to think about it anymore. They might be nodding off. But then there comes a point where you say something or you do something and it comes together. And you can see that change in students' faces, can't you? Can't you see that change? Yeah. That's the I got it moment. And I could levitate on that moment for hours and hours and hours. Just be buoyant with pleasure that they got that. I also loved it when students would just drop in my class, my office, just to see what kind of candy I had in the dish that day, or to sit down and chat about what was going on in their lives, their joys, their sorrows. These moments are much of what kept me coming back year after year after year. It wasn't the paycheck.
I wasn't president then.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm still true now, so.
It wasn't that. It was the students. It's always the students. What they need, what you think they need, what you think they want, what they think they want, and trying to figure out that puzzle to help them move along. You know, I never planned to stay at Southwestern long. I was planning to move on after a year or so to a Research 1 school, hopefully, where I could continue my studies of human emotion. But what I discovered was teaching students how to plan and conduct their own research was every bit as exciting and rewarding as doing it myself. So we developed, myself, my colleagues at the time, developed a research program, and we sent many students to conferences where they were successful. And many of our students went on to master's programs in clinical and counseling psychology, in social work, and to PhD programs in psychology. Many went to KU for their PhD programs. I have one student who went to the University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa in cognitive psychology. What pride. What pride. And many of these students I'm still in touch with today. In fact, most of my Facebook friends are former students of mine. And it's wonderful hearing about their families, about their jobs, what's going on in their lives. Could I have had the same success and satisfaction at some other college? Maybe. I'll never know, but somehow I doubt it. The culture among administrators, staff, faculty, and students was an ideal environment for me. There's a commercial on TV now with Martha Stewart, maybe you've seen it, about dirt, and what wonderful dirt this is and how it helps people grow. Southwestern College was like that for me. It helped me grow. I learned so much more from my students and from other colleagues from whom I stole or borrowed material than I think my students ever did. This is not to say it's always been perfect. In fact, my friend Dawn Plez once reached out her hand to me when I was in the pit of despair and helped me out. No, not perfect. Yesterday I spoke with Carl Martin, who was the president of this school when I arrived, and he reminded me of several times from 1995 through 2000 or so, when there was a lot of confusion and a lot of trouble and even peril, and that may sound somewhat familiar today. But I took a moment to remind him that we're builders. We are builders. And once a builder, always a builder. I still and will always support this college as best I can. Thank you again for this wonderful honor. I am truly touched.
Our second inductee this evening is Paul Bean, a member of the class of 1985, the Centennial class of Southwestern College. Paul Bean graduated from Southwestern College with a bachelor's in international business. He was a member of the Centennial class and was a Centennial Scholar. He earned his MBA from Baker University in 2000. After graduation from Southwestern, he went into banking and worked his way up to branch manager for Bank 4 in Ottawa, Kansas. After 10 years in banking, he moved into development work. The next 26 years he spent doing development for Ottawa University and Southwestern College. He served as the VP of Development for both Kansas colleges. Since 2019, Paul has been the Executive Director of the Franklin County Development Council. He is the point person for economic development in Franklin County, Kansas. All throughout his career, Paul has worked to support others. He has served on numerous boards and organizations during his professional career. As a member of the Lawrence Optimist Club, he received the Optimist of the Year award for his efforts to raise funds for scholarships for youth. He has served as a board member and president of the Franklin County United Way. USD 290 Ottawa recognized him as a community partner for his work to support career development for youth in the Ottawa community. Paul has used his fundraising abilities to support churches, schools, youth programs, and physically challenged adults, as well as the homeless. He has provided consulting for fundraising to churches in California, Nebraska, and Kansas. He has raised funds for scholarships for high school youth. Programs such as backpacks, shoes, and food assistance have also been efforts he has worked to support with fundraising efforts. He has also raised funds for emergency housing for the homeless during extreme weather events. He is currently assisting with a campaign to raise funds to support a regional agency that provides jobs to mentally and physically challenged individuals. As Paul moved into the world of economic development in 2019, he has continued to work to help those who need a hand up. During COVID-19, he obtained over $130,000 in grants for small businesses that were facing hardship due to the pandemic. He also garnered over $500,000 in grants and loans for payroll support and relief for small companies in Franklin County. Paul also works on several boards and organizations that support economic needs. Paul serves on the board of the Heartland Area 2, which works to support job opportunities for 17 counties in Kansas. He established the Franklin County E-Community, which has provided over $500,000 in loans and grants to entrepreneurs in Franklin County. He also serves as a board member for the Kansas Economic Development Alliance and Team Kansas. Both organizations work to support and recruit business and industry to the state of Kansas. Paul has deep appreciation for the role that Southwestern College has played in his life. His wife, Chris, is a graduate of Southwestern College, too. He spent many hours on campus as a child. His parents, Marvin and Betty Bean, met and graduated from SC. Marvin went on to serve as an alumni president at SC as well. Two of Paul's siblings, Robert and Marla, attended Southwestern College, as did many aunts, uncles, and cousins. Paul reflects, quote, "At Southwestern, it was emphasized by educators such as Larry Wilgers, Rick Johnson, and Alfredo Rodriguez to care for others and do what you can to support them. Use your abilities and talents to help others along the way," end quote. As a mound builder, Paul has always tried to build community through his service and care. He is supported by his wife, Chris, 3 sons, Chase, Garrett, and Austin, and his siblings, Marcy, Marla, and Bob, and their families. Please come forward at this time, Paul, to receive your award. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, this is pretty humbling. I'm also very glad they didn't use my school photo. I would have been in Dawn's office like that. I want to thank the college for this privilege and this honor. This is just an absolute thrill for me. I want to thank Nan for nominating me. I'll talk more about her later, so stay tuned, Nan. But no, this is an incredible honor, and this is home for me. As was mentioned, Mom and Dad went to school here, and this is where they met. And so childhood, Bob and I were over here a lot as kids. In the fall, it was a football game. In the winter, it was a concert. We saw a lot of great band concerts. Mom and Dad were music majors, so we came over for a lot of music. And then in the summer, we came to Horse Feathers and Applesauce. And I know Roxy's being recognized this weekend, and I'm thrilled to see that because I got to see Roxy do a lot of neat things. So this really is home. Of course, then came to school here, got our bachelor's, and then had the privilege and opportunity to work here. I'm forever thankful to Dick Merriman for bringing me here and letting me lead the fundraising. It was a great thrill for me to get to do that, to be at my alma mater, but even a greater thrill to work with the people that I got to work with on a daily basis. Good leaders are smart enough to understand they have to have good people around them. And I've been blessed all along the way, but especially here, to have some of the greatest people I've ever met to work with. And it's an honor that you guys are here tonight, so thank you for that. Also, when I was a student, I was very blessed to have some outstanding faculty and just learn so much. My parents were great about teaching us to think about others, but Larry Wilgers and Rick Johnson and Alfredo Rodriguez were three of my favorite professors, and I would go in, I found out when their coffee hour was, and we'd sit in there and have coffee in their break room, and I probably learned more in that break room than anywhere in the world in my entire life. So I'm eternally grateful to those three men. They taught me, they really built upon what my parents had built and taught me, was you've got to look around and see who needs help and what can you do about it. When you sit down and think, boy, I wish such and such would happen, then make it happen. Don't sit back and wait for the next person to come do it. So my challenge to you students is when an opportunity is placed in front of you or you think of something, boy, I wish we could get that done, just execute it, go do it. That's what builders do. And so I think it's incredibly important that we remember that and be very proud of that. I know I am. I'm not going to talk very long. We were joking. Susan and Nan and I have been to a lot of these banquets and been on the side of giving recognition to a lot of people, and some of them talked rather long. So I'm not going to do that to anybody. But I do want you to know this is the greatest honor I think I've ever received, outside of the opportunity to marry my wife, Chris. And I wouldn't be here without her, so thank you, honey. I appreciate you very much. And I appreciate the fact that my big brother's here. He's the other SC graduate from that generation of beings. And we just got back from Phoenix, and his son just finished his doctorate at Arizona State. So pretty proud of my brother and his beautiful bride, Valerie, and their son, Ren. But really appreciate this. It's been fun to walk around today. It's fun to see some of the friends that I met when I was working here, whether alumni or board members, spouses of folks I worked with, that they were so gracious to let my team work so hard, and they were just fabulous, and we had some great fun along the way. And I think that's the other key to leadership, is don't forget to have fun. You've got to have fun, and the more fun you have, the better you're going to do. And the better people will want to work around you, and you'll have great people because you're fun to be around. So thank you very, very much for this honor. I appreciate it. I'm eternally grateful, and thank you for letting me come back home. It's a real blessing. Thank you.
Our third and final inductee of the evening is Willie Williams, class of 1968. Willie Williams has over 50 years of experience in the development, direction, and implementation of mental health intellectual and development disability, and substance use policies and programs designed to meet the needs of critical target populations. He has a history of forging diverse collaborative relationships that foster respect and inclusion. Williams has held an array of educational, clinical, and administrative positions. As liaison and contract administrator for the City of Austin Public Health, he interfaced with more than 27 planning partnerships, agencies, and governmental entities regarding issues related to mental health, intellectual development disabilities, substance use, as well as services for the aging. As a clinician and administrator with Integral Care, the local mental health, intellectual and developmental disability, and substance use authority, Williams was instrumental in redesigning the Community AIDS Resource Education Outreach Program. He implemented a collaborative treatment approach with the faith-based community, integrating non-traditional services, delivery, counseling, and advocacy to the HIV/AIDS targeted population. This also included contracting with community faith-based organizations. Williams has a master's degree in social psychology, a bachelor's degree in sociology with a minor in economics. He is a UC Berkeley teacher intern and Robert Taft Fellow graduate. He holds multiple interdisciplinary licensures and certificates. Williams has served on numerous boards of directors, advisory boards, Family Elder Care, Lions Garden, University of Texas School of Nursing, the Amen Project, Austin State Hospital Redesign Committee, National Leadership Council, the African American Behavioral Health, Texas Association Addiction Professional, Community Advancement Network, Leadership Austin. Williams considers his most significant community contributions to be the following: organizing the Central Texas African American Family Support Conference, with the support of Friends and Integral Care, the inaugural Central Texas African American Family Support Conference, held in November 2000, was the first conference in Texas and only the third in the United States to focus on the healthcare needs of African Americans. The conference was born from a desire to confront the systems and cultural bias that have resulted in African Americans facing barriers to healthcare access. The conference is hosted by Integral Care. The conference supports the African American community and embraces all members of the community regardless of race. It will celebrate its 25th anniversary on February 4th and 5th of 2025. Williams is also proud of his work with the Austin Area African American Behavioral Health Network. This is a HOG Foundation for Mental Health sponsored group. Following in the footsteps of the Central Texas African American Family Support Conference, this was created in 2009 to further strengthen connections and networking opportunities for African Americans who are interested in behavioral health in the Austin area. Composed of behavioral health professionals, people who lived with mental and behavioral health experience, youth and their families, faith leaders, and community members, the network identifies and brings together local recovery-oriented support. In particular, the network exists to connect African Americans to services and support that reflect Williams' deep understanding of their unique challenges navigating a mental health system that was not built with their experience in mind and is not reflective of their needs. Williams says that the foundation for his life's work and what he has accomplished was formed here at Southwestern. He is a connector of people who cares very deeply for those who are under-deserved and too often overlooked. He is a true servant, a true builder of the human spirit, and we are proud to induct him to the Leaders in Service Hall of Fame this evening. Mr. Williams, will you please come forward to accept your reward?
Great, congratulations. I'll look forward to hearing your comments.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Good evening. It's truly an honor, and it's very humbling to be here and to be recognized for the Hall of Fame. I'd like to not only congratulate, but thank the other recipients, because their work and their leadership in various fields helps make our world a little better place. All of us have a passion, and we take those same leadership skills, many of them gained and learned here at Southwestern, to push forward that positive change. As always, I understand that none of this is possible without the glory, the power of God. I thank my parents. I know a lot of people, they always thank their mother. I thank my mother and my father. For those individuals that know me and have known me since I was a kid, they look at me and says, that part of you is your mother and this part of you is my father. And for many years, I thought I had the best looking legs in town because they said I had my mother's legs. I also want to thank Crystal Wynn, previous faculty member here, for nominating me for this Hall of Fame induction award. When I first heard that I was going to be nominated, had been nominated and would be inducted, I'm saying, what do I know Crystal Wynn for? And it finally dawned on me, we had lunch one time in Austin, Texas, and maybe 2 years or so before COVID. And I was like, wow, she remembered. And the older you get, it's nice to be remembered. Because what happens is that people, they did this, and they forget you. I had decided to try to make notes, etc., and I'm saying, I have a time limit. And my wife is over there going to give me the high signal, wrap it up, Willie, because the people want to go to the football game or whatever's happening tonight, right? And if someone said, and I'll refer back to the inauguration of the president, and I said, let me take a look at that. And I'm listening to everyone complimentary, talking about goals, objectives, all of the search. And then we got to the meat of that event, approximately 20-minute presentation by the president. And she summed it up. And so hopefully today, without going an hour plus, we can sum this up. My journey to Southwestern was, for me, different than others. I had attended private Catholic school from kindergarten through elementary. I was fortunate enough to go to St. Edward's High School. St. Edward's High School is on the campus and part of St. Edward's University, the sister school of Notre Dame, the Congregation of Holy Cross facility. And no, I was not, they weren't calling me saying, Willie, come to the honor roll office in the National Honor Society. But I was able to gain a great deal, excellent study skills, but most important, the diversity of my high school education. We had students from Brazil, Mexico, numerous states. The teaching faculty are from all over. My English teacher for the last 2 years of high school was from Russia. My Spanish teacher had been teaching in Cuba, and way back when the Catholics decided to back Batista, and when that revolution didn't go well, they did bring all of the Catholic university instructors back to the States and placed them at St. Edward's and other places. So when I arrived, Winfield, I didn't see a lot of people look like me, but it didn't bother me. And I had gained that. I also, in retrospect, from an early age, my parents and people said, you're going to be the person. You're going to be the person that's going to be out there. You're not the smartest light bulb in the path, but you're going to be the first light bulb. And that was always in the back of my mind, and it was something I didn't really contemplate or realize until later in life. Southwestern, I made friends and loved the faculty. Dr. Moore, who was a psychology, head of the psychology department. The people at ARA Slater, the cooks, and I had some skills in that area, and I was able to work in the kitchen, and I saw that as a possible out and something to do, a skill. And as a matter of fact, as I was getting ready to graduate, they had offered me a job to go to Dillard University. I didn't go there, but let me just kind of stop and jump around in the sense that when I did graduate, and I graduated early, I guess I was still 20. A couple things occurred, and I hope I get this order correct. I graduated early and didn't realize how much I loved school because I had the rest of my life to work. But I looked back in retrospect and says, what were the things, why was Southwestern important? And there were just three things that I really came to be. My freshman year, early in the year, a young lady from Houston, Texas, the fiance of a senior football player, walked up to me, and I don't know what the conversation was about, but she says, you know, Willie, everybody didn't grow up Catholic. Later, when the opportunity presented itself, I was ready to go take the Bible studies, Bible class, whatever the name of the course was. And that really helped me in reading and having a better understanding of world religions as well as the Bible. Second thing that occurred here that, in retrospect, really was a foundation for the things I was able to do later, I think it was called the RCL or RLC. It was a religious leadership group or whatever, but I ended up, especially in the end of 1965 through 1966, being asked to speak at a number of churches. And I don't remember how it was arranged, but I was in Wellington and, of course, Ark City and some of the other communities. And they would be saying, well, tell us about this. Is this really happening? And they had their question. It became a very educational thing for that community, for those individuals. And I was blessed to have the connections and support to say, hey, I'm only one black person. All of us don't think alike. One Negro person, and everybody doesn't think alike. But I had my parents who were sending me information. I had Jet Magazine. I'd have to go to Wichita, Kansas to get other materials. And in doing that, one March of 1966, that was the month and the year of what we call Bloody Sunday, the March Selma Bridge. I had that morning, Sunday morning, gone down to Ark City, or Kansas City, and done a presentation early that morning. And I had to be, and I won't name the community, a community within 100 miles of Wellington. And so I'm driving, it's snowing, no problem. I go there, and I'm guessing maybe 50, 60 people. They were there for all day, and it was a question and answer thing, this, and what do you think about this? And the lady says, I've been a beautician for all of my life. Yeah, you can come touch my hair, lady. And those kinds of things, and it was supportive. They felt safe, and I felt blessed to be able to further their education and knowledge. Getting ready to leave, and I'm thinking it was winter time, and so it had to be 6:30, and I'm walking out, people saying thank you, and there's a pickup truck with 3 men in it, and they got shotguns. Well, I've been around enough that they weren't going rabbit hunting. And the pastor and so the people there says, oh, okay, wait, don't worry about it, we got you covered. In essence, they escorted me all the way back to Wellington. After that event, and I said it was important, it had me to think, Willie, do you really believe what you're saying? Because now I know it can get you killed. It was a reality check. I wasn't down where they were with the water hoses and the things here, but it was my reality check. But I came back to Southwestern, I was safe. I felt the community, the faculty, the campus was a safe place. So that helped me to say, yes, Willie, continue that path. The last thing I just wanted to mention is the liberal arts education. I'm trying to get through school. I have my eye on what's happening. I've had to make my own job preparations because sending out resumes with your little picture, that wasn't going to get me a job. Because at that time, you go up to Wichita, drop your quarter in, get 6 little pictures, cut them up one by one, and it was like a brown thing with 2 eyes, 2 little white spots. And the thing is, I knew, and it didn't insult me. People say, you sending it out? Yeah, man, I haven't heard from this place. I haven't heard from this place. I knew I wasn't going to hear from these people. But, trash can. But I knew also that I had a place to go. I was going to Dillard University as assistant food manager for the campus. And then one day, Student comes down, I'm going up to Christie Hall, you had the little speakerphone, and there's a guy from Kellogg's. Hello, my so-and-so, blah, blah, my name is Earl, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I didn't even know Kellogg's hired folks. I knew Kellogg's cereal, I knew the grocery business. And we meet in Wichita. And hey, we're going to offer you a job. You're going to be the first Afro-American hired west of the Mississippi by this entire industry in management. And my friends were like, oh man, I'm getting $5,200 a year. I'm getting almost $6,000 a year. Kellogg says, hey, it'll be about $7,000 a year. And we know you have a car. We've already talked to your teachers and all of this. Okay. Do you want to ship the car, drive the car? How do we help you get to San Francisco Bay Area? And from there it goes on. Because you take a kid with a little bit of liberal arts education and give him, all right, here's the season pass for Kellogg's for the San Francisco Symphony, the opera. Oh yeah, I'm in hell, Kevin. And that was a time when the business of America was business, and it was very common for the large companies to say, oh, you're here in Winfield and you're doing this at the grocery store, you're head of this. Would you like to go somewhere? We'll send you, you won't take you out, we'll send you to San Francisco Bay Area, wherever you wanted to go. So that was the business of America. All of that and those experiences helped me to move into what really became my passion. And that was helping people, making a difference. Not the money, understand, yeah, you get awards, there's a lot of things. You taught school, you did this, but what are you doing and how are you moving to make the world a better place? And I had that opportunity, and I did it. I think there were a number of things on the checklist, et cetera, et cetera. That's great. My fingerprints are everywhere. But I learned a long time ago that the day that I got my bachelor's, I didn't come back for graduation, but they did mail it to me. The day I got my bachelor's, the day I got this master's, the day I got the other master's, 1,000 other people got that same piece of paper. And 1,000 other people in their own right had an opportunity to do something with it, to use it to, quote, follow their passion and their objectives. There are a lot of things I could say and bore you to death and tell you stories, but maybe the most important thing, how many of you have mentees or mentors or, work with kids? And our young people, they're going out, congratulations to your awards and honors that you received this evening. We always tell people, here are the leadership skills, and we send you to leadership conferences, and we do that. The thing that, from my perspective, we failed to do is to say, hey, we need you to develop your supportive skills. You may be a great orator, you may be a great organizer, but if you're a great leader and you walk into an organization that's already a leader, you can't have 2 or 3 leaders running any program. Those supportive skills, parliamentarian, everybody knows something about parliamentary. But if you become a parliamentarian, you know a lot about that. Okay? Your supportive skills, those may be the skills that are needed by an organization to move it forward. My supportive skills, American Sign Language. I started signing when I was in the 7th grade, realized that, especially in California, could really be an asset. And I developed those and became a clinician and do therapy, et cetera, and sign. Later on, I was able to do some other things that was bring it to the table, that helped move something forward. All of those skills, and over that time, with all the support and the people that love myself and love my wife, who gets all the thanks that she needs. I didn't forget you. All of that has led to the Central Texas Afro-American Family Support Conference, a conference that you probably have never seen one like it. All the presenters are people with lived experience, or they have a co-presenter with lived experience. The organization of that conference is community. People go and come. People move away and come back and want to be a part of it. It is the only conference that you will see someone stand up and say, hey, I don't think that's the right answer in the middle of it. It's the only conference you'll go to when music is played, people get up and start dancing. It's that kind of conference. And, quote, lets individuals with lived experiences, families, members of individuals with lived experience understand and know that they are not alone and they are valued. We talk about I think you mentioned the Austin Area Behavioral Health Network. It is a network housed by the Hall Foundation now. Hall Foundation for Mental Health, which is part of the University of Texas. And what it has done is to bring together almost 500 clinicians that are available. They're not all black, but they're culturally competent, will define what is culturally competent. And that makes something available. You have people, you come to the conference, you say, wow, I feel this, I'm ready to do this, where do I go to get help? There's a network available for that. And I am very proud that this has been going for 25 years, and it is the longest running conference of its type in the country. Finally, I just want to say thank you. I'm very humbled. Thank you for my kind of blabbed a little bit, but I really didn't know what to say. I've received all kinds of awards, such as the other recipients. I didn't really know what to say. But I will leave you with this. President Liz talked about a builder. I never heard that when I was here. But she talked about a builder and building. And I said, that's what I've done. And so as I leave you tonight, I am reclaiming Southwestern as my school. Thank you.
All right. Well, on behalf of the faculty and administration, to our Pi Gamma Mu students and our honor students, thank you for your thoughtful engagement in your studies, and thank you for joining us here tonight. To our Hall of Fame inductees, thank you for your contributions and service to our world. Thank you for the example that you have set. Thank you for being builders. Thank you for your heartfelt connection. Thank you for your heartfelt connection to and your continued support of Southwestern College. To all of us here, please let us know of other worthy mound builders and friends of the college who should be nominated for the Leaders in Service Hall of Fame. On the inside cover of your program, you will find a link where nominations can be submitted online. Please take a moment to consider deserving mound builders and help us recognize their contributions. You'll also find in your program a schedule of coming Founders Weekend activities. Before we leave tonight, I would like to thank Fresh Ideas and the team who organized this event. If you join me in applause. I would also ask that all the recognized individuals and their families, as well as the social science staff and faculty, that you have to remain a little longer for group photos. We will do this quickly. While that concludes the official program, please feel free to stick around as long as you like. You can mingle and chat, catch up, or meet someone new. It has been our pleasure to host you all on campus this evening. On behalf of the Social Science Division at Southwestern College, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for supporting our college, and thank you for being builders.